Why stop at 10? Let's do 11, bro. What's good, KTRD? We got the initials jumping in here. All right. So the title of today's discussion is, boom, memory is not the past. Memory is a choice of now. All right. This one might be a little bit triggering, but that's good because in the triggering we find expansion. So we're going to talk about things like subconscious beliefs. We're going to talk about things like, you know what? I just feel like I'm in this loop. And this is actually inspired by a discussion I had with a client yesterday. Right? Discussion I had with a client yesterday. It was very, very fun discussion. But we will constantly try to find things in our past to justify why we don't have something. Right? We'll see things in reality. It won't look right. And we'll say, I must be doing something wrong or else this wouldn't show up. But that is the very thing that keeps us in this loop. So we're going to talk about this loop. We're going to talk about subconscious reprogramming. We're going to talk about when y'all say, I just feels like something is holding me back. Well, there's nothing holding you back. It's you holding on to the belief that something is holding you back, right? So it's never anything holding you back. It's that you have to release that belief, that knowing that something is holding you back. So this is what we're going to talk about today, all right? So here we go. Memory is not the past. Memory is a choice of now. People love to say, I just feel like I am in a loop. They whisper it as if some ancient trauma has chained itself to their ankle and is dragging them through life. But the truth is much cleaner and much more uncomfortable. Nothing from your past is holding on to you. You are the one holding on to the past, right? So we're going to use a lot of Course in Miracles quotes today. Okay, I think I got like 5 in them today, right? It's the most ever. All right. So you are the one holding on to your past. You are the one dragging yesterday's ghost in today's garden. And then you wonder why the flowers never bloom. The human condition, right? We are constantly just obsessed with the past, thinking that we are looking through this window when really we're just holding up a mirror, thinking that we're talking about something concrete, something that is unchangeable, something that I have to go through and fix to get to where I want. But the only moment is now. You are simply choosing an identity right now, and then you're pulling in a past thought simply to justify who you're deciding to be. It's always about who you are right now. So we're going to talk about the purpose of memory. We're going to talk about what most people use their memory for, right? Most people use their memory simply to cause themselves more suffering. Instead of using it to remember the truth of who you are, is that you are this infinite, divine, unlimited, eternal being. Okay? So here's the first quote from A Course in Miracles. Memory is a skill made up by you to take the place of what God gave you in creation. Let's really think about that. Okay? Memory is a skill made up by you to take the place of what God gave you in creation. What did God give you in creation? All that there is. Okay? All that there is. You are already all that there is. It dwells within you. It is you. It's all around you. But what memory is, it's the small mind, right? It is you simply trying to play God, right? Simply trying to play God. You're taking this small sliver of reality, this one of infinite possibilities, and you're saying, no, this is the truth. Because of this, I cannot have what I want. Or because of this, I can have what I want. Either way, memory of the past, either way, it is always going to be limited. Here's another thing I really want to push today, okay? No matter what you believe about yourself, okay, it will always be a limited identity of who you truly are. Because who you truly are is simply limitless. You simply are. You are the consciousness that contains everything. So whether you say I am prosperity, whether you say that I am love, whether you say that I am in lack, either one is true. But either one is just a fraction of what you really are. So this is really what the purpose of memory is. The purpose of memory is for you to remind yourself of your vastness, right? Of how eternal you are, of how you can have whatever you want. But oftentimes we'll use it just to cling to one thing that's happened in the past, when that's not the truth. It's just a memory. It's just a thought. Okay? So the mind wants to play creator of its own little world, but you're not trapped by one of infinite possibilities. Memory is not the past. Memory is not the past. Memory is a current choice to perceive a tiny sliver of infinite reality and treat that sliver as the whole. I know you hear that. Not the dog, but me. I know you hear that. All right. So A Course in Miracles puts it like this. Memory equals, what is memory? A perception of the past as if it were occurring now and we're still there to see. A perception of the past as if it were occurring now and we're still there to see. This is why we take our thought of the past and we bring it all the way into this present moment. We say, no, look, I can't get what I want because this happened. No, look, I can't have that because of this. No, Alex, look at all the things that have happened in my past. Clearly, this is proving that I am in a loop. Clearly, this is proving that I'm stuck. Clearly. But none of those things are holding on to you. It's you holding on to them. It's you standing right now in this moment, which is eternity. This moment is eternity. You're standing in eternity and you're pulling out one little thing and you're saying, nope, I don't want to look at eternity. I'd rather look at suffering. I'd rather look at pain. All right? So memory, let's break this down. Memory is nothing more than a perception of the past presented as if it were happening now, as if it still existed to be seen. It is the mind holding up an old photograph and insisting it is a window. You are not recalling what was. You're reactivating what you believed. You're simply choosing an identity and then picking one moment in time and saying, look, this is actually who I truly am. Memory is not the past. It is a present choice to view a fragment of infinity and treat it as the whole. The past is gone, but memory replays it with such conviction that you forget you are watching a rerun. You think you're experiencing truth, but you are experiencing a selected perspective, a tiny echo of a moment that no longer exists anywhere except in your awareness. That moment that you're constantly replaying and saying, this is why I'm stuck. This is why things aren't working out. This is why I can't have what I want. This is why I have to reprogram whatever. It's simply you experiencing one selected perspective, a tiny echo of a moment that no longer exists anywhere except in your awareness. It's a really powerful thing to come to the realization of. So this is why A Course in Miracles emphasizes that memory is only a partial perception, one possibility among infinite possibilities. It's not the past, right? It's never the past that is binding you, but your decision to keep using memory as a lens instead of a doorway. Memory becomes a prison only when you insist on seeing through it, but memory can also become liberation when you use it to remember your vastness and your divinity right now. Okay? And I underlined that and made sure it was in bold, just so if your mind goes right to this when you pull this document back up. Okay? When you stop treating memory as evidence and start treating it as a choice, you reclaim your creative power. Right? See, I'm not saying to sit here and brainwash yourself. I'm not saying to sit here and just don't think of shit. What I'm saying is use these things as reminders. Okay, this was simply one of infinite possibilities. That's it. One of infinite possibilities. And right now I can select to walk in my power and choose how I'm going to see myself from this moment. Okay, if this moment is all I have, if this moment is eternity, then why would I cling and hold on to something that I don't want to experience anymore? You don't want to be in a loop. So why are you selecting a reality where you are in a loop? Why are you selecting a perspective where you are in a loop? There's nothing in between you and God, in between you and Source, in between everything that you desire to be. You're already that which you desire to be. Okay? Anything that implies that you're not, simply an illusion to let go of. Okay? Simply an illusion to let go of. Okay? So only the memory of it is, okay? So because nothing from the past is happening anymore, only the memory of it is. And you are the one choosing whether to press play, okay? So here we go. A Course in Miracles also teaches There is no link of memory to the past. And this is something that, took me a while to get my mind around. That's why I say it so carefully, right? There was a time where I believed that I had to go through the past to get to the future, which is what a lot of us believe indirectly. It's that there are certain things from our past, okay? And those things, I need to heal them, I need to fix them, I need to work through them in order to get to my desired reality. But the truth is, the only reason that you think that is because you will not let go. You simply won't let go. Right now is the only moment that you have. It's the only moment that you've ever experienced. You've never existed in a moment other than the present moment. It is eternity. But when we keep going to our past, right? We keep going to memory and selecting the situation that we don't want, and we use it to define ourselves in the present moment. We're denying ourselves all that God has already given us. Right? And remember, when I say that, of course, I'm speaking as with concession, right? I'm making a concession. When I'm speaking at it, or I'm breaking it down to as a reduction, or in a way that is a reduction of what it truly is, because it's the only way that we can explain unity consciousness, right? Because the truth is, it is God, your awareness, giving it to yourself. But you have already been given the gift of eternity, the gift of every version of you already exists within you, ready for you to simply claim it, accept it as the truth of who you are. But when we're taking one sliver of infinity, and we keep pulling at it, and we say, we'll refuse to let it go. The only person that's denying us of what we want is us. Right? There's no God out there testing you. There's no devil out there bringing you down. There's no, astrology isn't holding you back. The therapist, because they said that you were avoidant, that makes no difference. The only thing holding you back is your belief that you have to go through something to be the person that you already are. And this is why, we have these discussions, right? And the main, or one of the main points, if it ain't the main point, one of the main points is to remind you that you are already that which you desire to be. Meaning, when we say things like, what do I have to do to get this person? What do I have to do to get this money? What do I have to do to step into prosperity? And the situation, or the answer is always just accept that you already are it. We're constantly placing this gap, right, between who we are now and who we desire to be. And even when we hear that you're already that which you desire to be, there's still this, no, it can't be that. Or, yeah, okay, I accept that, but what does that mean? It means I have to be more of myself. You know what I'm saying? It means I have to, relax more, or I have to try to be me more, or I have to find who I am more. But when you come into the awareness that you already are that which you desire to be, all you have to do is be. Is bring yourself back to that present moment and simply exist there. Reality will take care of itself because reality is God and God is you. And so reality unfolds from within you. Therefore, the only thing that you have to worry about and remind yourself of is the vastness, the divineness that you already possess. It truly is just being, just existing, with that knowing that you are already everything. And this is why even when you catch yourself saying, okay, well, I have to do this, or I have to feel this way, what it always helps to remind yourself, no, if I'm trying to make it conditional, right? If I'm trying to place conditions on the unconditional, that should be an alarm that goes off that says, okay, all right, if I'm trying to place conditions on the unconditional, that means I'm trying to buy into the illusion right now. I'm trying to create separation when there is none. We will say things like, the body is just, it's unholy, you have to tame it and do all of these things. No, it's your belief. It's your belief that anything could take you from God, which is leading you down this path of thinking that there's some kind of cleansing to do. Right? I've been on that path. Did all kinds of things, the fasting, and I still do those things because I enjoy the benefits, because I enjoy how they make me feel. Right? But when I was doing all those things, the semen retention, all of the meditation, all of the fasting, all of this, all of that, simply to try to become somebody that was in more alignment, simply to try to get close to a God that had never left, I was constantly affirming that I am not it. Because if I was it, then I wouldn't have to do anything to be it. I would just know that I was it. And that is the gap that we're working to collapse. That's the gap that we're working to collapse, right? That gaps of doing, of trying, of striving and reaching. Instead, going back to that Psalm 46:10 that says, be still and know that I am God. Or in other words, in other translations, cease striving. Okay? So anytime I catch myself with any thought, with any emotion, right, thinking that I have to do something to be it, that right there is the illusion. And I cannot stress it enough. That is the illusion. That's the only thing holding you back, is the belief that something is holding you back. Okay? The only thing holding you back is the belief that something is holding you back. All right? So let's get into this deeper. All right? So this is talking about memory. This is another quote from A Course in Miracles talking about memory. Memory can be used to heal and not to hurt if you wish it to be. It is a recognition that you have no needs, which means something must be done. You hear that? Let me say that one more time, okay? So your memory, right? It can be used to heal and not to hurt if you wish it to be. Meaning, memory is a skill. It's something that you can cultivate. Instead of reminding yourself or using memory to pull up the things that you don't want, you can actually begin to use memory to heal. Not to hurt, not to sit in the past, not to believe that you're stuck, but to heal. Not just yourself, but others. Not just yourself, but others. Right? Even Jesus said, there will be ones that come after me that will do greater works than me. Well, and y'all have seen it. You've seen people come up here, healing people in their family, right? Healing themselves, coming into abundance, all of those things, right? So memory can be used to heal and not to hurt if you wish it be. And of course you do. Of course that's what you desire. Okay? And then the second part about memory. Memory, okay, is a recognition that you have no needs, which means something must be done, not by you, but by that greater mind, right? Meaning, well, it is you. Okay, I'm speaking in concessions again. I am speaking in concessions again, right? Because there's only God. There is no me, there's only God, all right? But now we have this illusion of separation, which allows us to have this beautiful human experience, which allows me to feel the touch of a woman, you know what I'm saying? To hear the engine of a car, right? All of that is built on the illusion of separation. I experience myself through the illusion of separation. This is a beautiful thing, okay? But what is the recognition that you have no needs? What is the recognition that you have no needs? The recognition that you have no needs is the recognition that right now you are already that which you desire to be. You're already eternal. You're vast. You are God. You are God. You are all that there is. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to become. How can you be what you already are? It's like looking for your glasses when you're wearing them. You'll never find them. You'll never find who you're trying to be because you already are it. So it's about realizing, oh, I'm already it. Therefore, I can just be. I can just exist. All right. So the recognition that you have no needs leads to what? It means something must be done. Meaning that prosperity you're looking for must be added to you, right? This is what even Jesus meant when he said, seek ye first the kingdom and all these things will be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added. It's what is the kingdom is everything. And where is everything? Right here in this present moment. So when it's saying seek the kingdom, it's not saying go find it because the kingdom is within you, right? No one will say lo here or lo there. The kingdom is not something observable with eyes, for the kingdom is within you. And if it's within you, you can't dig and search for it. It's a remembrance. You simply remember that right now you're already everything you desire to be. Right now you have no needs. Okay. So with that remembrance, with that remembering of the kingdom, now everything or something must be done. Everything must be added to you. All right. Memory is not meant to remind you of limitation. Memory is meant to remind you of your vastness. Memory is meant to remember your unlimited nature as God, your eternal essence as God. Memory is meant to pull you back into the now where all power lives. It's meant to pull you back into eternity, which is this present moment. Eternity. Okay? Next quote from A Course in Miracles. Memory is a skill that can be used to remember now. Memory is a skill that can be used to remember now, right? If that ain't a bar, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Okay? So you are not stuck. You are repeating yourself. Next part. So let us address this idea of loops and subconscious reprogramming. Okay? You are not stuck because of a childhood event, because of what happened with your ex, because of what went on yesterday. You are stuck because you keep replaying it. Those things are not holding on to you. You are holding on to those things. Okay? The subconscious is not a vault of trauma. It is not a vault of trauma. What is it? If you want to call it anything, right? If we want to make a concession and call it anything, right? Because when you think of all of these terms, right? Subconscious, conscious, superconscious, unconscious, big conscious, little conscious, right? God, all of these things, there's only one mind, right? But as humans trying to explain, we have to make concessions to give a thorough explanation, right? We can't understand the infinite without breaking it down into pieces, because that's how, we are. That is how we are, right? So if you want to think of the subconscious as anything, right? It's not a vault of trauma. It's a pattern of attention. A pattern of attention. In other words, a repetition of inner devotion. This is what most people use their memory for. A repetition of inner devotion. So when we talk about frequency, you can think of how frequently do I go back to the remembrance that I am eternal? Does my memory of the past trigger me to remember who I truly am and remind myself, that's just one sliver of infinity? So this is what memory is, right? You start using your memory to remember your eternal nature right here and now. It becomes a repetition of inner devotion instead of saying, I have this blockage or this thing happened to me. And that becomes the repetition of inner devotion. Now we evolve. We remember who we are. Okay? So what you repeatedly devote your awareness to becomes your experience. Even Proverbs says what? As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And remember, think in the heart is important. In the heart is important. Because in the heart represents knowing, acceptance, the truth. It doesn't say just as he thinketh. Right? Because you're not your thoughts. Your thoughts rise in awareness. They dip out. Okay? But you are who you say you are. You are the I am. Okay? You are the I am. You are not fighting a past story. You don't have to fight it off. Right? We're simply sustaining it with our belief in it, with our conviction in it. My conviction in any story, my conviction in I have past life trauma I need to heal, proof, right? It's going to come to, it's going to be made manifest in my reality. Right? My conviction in the knowing that all women, right, or goddesses, you might say all men are narcissists, right? That conviction will be outpictured in your reality. The conviction that men or women treat you beautifully, that will be outpictured. All right? The conviction that I am prosperity, it will be outpictured. The conviction that money is difficult to get because of this economy, it will be outpictured. Our conviction will be outpictured. All right? So there is a quote or a concept in mysticism. It's called self-binding. Self-binding. Let's talk about this. Self-binding is the quiet art of trapping yourself with your own thoughts. It is when you take a single moment from your past, a moment that no longer exists, by the way, and you wrap it around your identity as if it were truth. You imprison yourself with interpretations of events. Well, this must mean that. Well, obviously, if reality is showing me this, it must mean I'm not doing something right. Well, Now that is what it means now, because you have decided so. Well, because I don't have it, it must mean I'm doing something wrong. Well, because you say that, it must be so. But the truth is, you can simply accept that you are absolutely perfect and whole. Why does God need to be in alignment with anything? Why would God fight for alignment? You are God. You are alignment. You just need a decision. You have to decide. You just need to decide what you want, who you want to be. That's it. All right? So you imprison yourself with interpretations of events and the story that you wrap around your trauma. You say you're stuck, but it is you who keeps tightening the rope. You say you want freedom, but you keep polishing the chains. You say something from your past is holding on, but nothing is gripping you. You are gripping it. You're tying the knot and then begging God to loosen it. Tying the knot and then begging God to loosen it. Self-binding ends the moment you stop worshiping your own wounds. The moment you stop reciting the same emotional script. The moment you realize you are the jailer and the freed one. You are the jailer and the freed one. You are the trapped and the liberator. You are all roles in reality, right? So we'll constantly say that, but then we don't really take it deep. We'll be like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, my beliefs create reality. Well, your beliefs that you're limited, the belief that you have something to reprogram. All of that, okay? All of that. So you escape by dropping it. You escape by remembering that the version of you who suffered is not the version of you who stands here now. When you choose a new identity, and identity, right, is the master vibration. It's the master frequency. If you want to think of vibration or frequency, any of them buzzwords, right? Because I know y'all love telling me about vibration, alignment, and frequency, even though none of y'all motherfuckers can measure it. None of y'all can measure it, but you love talking about it, right? If you really want to talk about it, identity is the master vibration. It's the master frequency. All right? When you choose a new identity, the old knot falls apart on its own. Let go of the story and you walk out of the prison you built. Let go of the story and you walk out of the prison that you built into the infinite freedom that was waiting the whole time. You say you want a new life, but you keep watering old seeds. You say you want love, but you keep memorizing heartbreak. You say you want abundance, but you keep reciting the gospel of lack. Right? But we have transcended, right? We are now in the gospel of abundance, the gospel of prosperity. Okay? The gospel of ease, the gospel of flow, the gospel of perfection, the gospel of if I lose one, I always bounce back with 3. The gospel of everything that I want is always wanting me. Right? Step into the identity that you want. Okay? You cannot walk into a new destiny holding hands with the old identity. That's what a lot of us are doing, right? I've been there. Right? I want this new thing. I've been affirming for it. Just something must be holding me back, though. I'm trying to stand in this new identity, but I'm holding hands with lack. I'm trying to be this, but I'm saying, hey, look, come here. Guys, look, this is the reason why I can't get what I want, because of this guy. And it's just me and my story. Release the story. The story is not holding on to you. You are holding on to it. How much battery do I have? Okay, 16%. We're doing well. 16%, we're doing beautifully. All right? Reality is infinite and you are seeing almost none of it. Next part. Reality is infinite and you are seeing almost none of it. All right. So modern mystics, we call them modern mystics, right? Modern mystics or scientists, they say humans perceive less than 1% of reality. I don't know what the actual number is. It's like 0.0001% of reality or less that we can actually perceive. Now, let's think about this. Let's think about this, all right? You only see 0.001% of reality, okay? The rest of it is simply energy and empty space. Now, we also know that within you is the kingdom. Okay? The kingdom is within you, right? Okay, so the kingdom is within you. Let's think about this. So we've talked about memory, right? Where memory is simply one fragment of the infinite. It's one sliver of the infinite. Okay, one moment in the vastness of eternity. This is one little memory, okay? Because of human consciousness, we can only perceive one perspective at a time, okay? One reality at a time. So who you are is infinite, but now you have made this decision that I am prosperity. So you see prosperity, but you are really infinite, okay? You're really infinite. What this 0.0001% of reality is, it's whatever you choose to focus on. So if you choose this one reality out of infinite that is possible, you have chosen to only see this 1.0001% and define yourself as that. What we're trying to use memory for, what the real purpose of memory for, is for you to bring yourself back to the truth. What is the truth? That you are vast, you are whole, you are unlimited. You are unlimited. So now memory is just it's just a reminder. It should just be a reminder for you of who you are. All right? So A Course in Miracles does point to this when it teaches that perception shows you a world of fragments while truth shows you wholeness. Hear that, all right? Perception, all perception, shows you a world of fragments, while truth shows you wholeness. There is only one truth. It's that you are all that there is, that you are God. It's I am. The only truth of reality is I am. Everything else is just a reduction, right? That's it. It's just a reduction of all that you are, everything else, okay? So what you are seeing is a sliver of infinity. And we interpret that sliver as our life story. But this is just how it's been. But this is just what it is. No, that's just what you're choosing to say about yourself. It's always our choice. Always. We are only bonded. We are only bound by the limits of our own imagination, by the limits of our own identity. You're only trapped by your perception of yourself, which is such a terrifying realization, but then it's also such a liberating one. I am only bound by my own identity, by how I see myself. I am only bound by my own identity. How liberating is that? Okay? The infinite, you, the God, the I am, cannot fit inside that tiny frame, even in this moment. As you look out in reality and you might see yourself as sick, right? You might see whatever you see out there, okay? But you cannot be bound by just what you can see in one moment. You are infinite. So in every moment, you get to allow your memory to serve as a tool to remind yourself that no matter what I'm seeing or feeling or experiencing or looking at, this is who I am. So memory simply becomes a tool for me to identify myself, for me to remember who I really am, right? I am the vastness, the wholeness, the health, the love, the prosperity of God. I am the all. And when I remember that, now nothing must be done, but everything is done for me, right? So we constantly remember, guys, when you're stating identity, you're not stating identity to reality. You're not trying to do something to change anything out there, because that would imply that you're not who you desire to be, that you're not it. You're simply stating identity. And because reality is an extension of you, now all of a sudden reality simply matches you. You stay in your identity. God, reality, just is what it is. It'll take care of itself. The pain that I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? The physical pain that you're feeling, the situation that's called, whatever it is, it will change to match who you are. But you have to give it permission to change by deciding who you are. When you stop identifying with the external reality, right? When y'all stop playing peekaboo with each other. I see this, so this must be who I am. I see this, so I must be doing something wrong, and wonder why you stay in that same pattern. When we take our consciousness, right? Because consciousness, the point of consciousness is to be conscious. It's to be aware. If we're constantly just being aware on everything out there, we will only be able to stay in the same loop. I see lack, so I must be lack. I see lack, so I must be doing something wrong, so I need to do more, which is me affirming that I'm not prosperity. If I look at a situation, okay, hear me when I say this. If I look at a situation, let's say the situation looks like whatever, okay? It's bills piling up, whatever situation is going on out there. I look at it and I say, because of this, I must be doing something wrong. What I'm really affirming is I am not who I desire to be. I'm not it. Okay? Because if I was it, I would simply decide, no, I am it. And the reality is simply changing to match that. Anytime reality does not show you what you want, it's still the middle. Oh, 10%. 10%. It's just the middle. Anytime reality does not show you what you want, it is just the middle. All right? So in the Gospel of Thomas, right, Jesus, your I am awareness, says, the kingdom is spread out upon the earth and men do not see it. The kingdom is spread out upon the earth and men do not see it. He was pointing directly to the divine reality shimmering underneath every moment. The kingdom is not hidden. Okay, God's not hiding. It is just overlooked. The kingdom is the very presence of God expressed as your awareness and being right now. Did you hear your boy? The kingdom is the very presence of God expressed as your awareness and being now. So if that's the case, why would I use my awareness and being to replay things I don't want? To worship things I don't want? To show devotion to a memory that I no longer want to experience? Perception, right? Perception clouded by fear and memory keeps your eyes on appearances instead of essence. You see forms, but you do not see the life animating them. You see situations, but not the infinite power beneath them. You see problems, but not the presence of God that precedes them. So this is why mystics, right? What do they say? They say enlightenment is not about gaining something new. It's the removal of what blocks your vision. Me constantly telling the story that it's not working out, that I must be in this loop, I must be doing something wrong, that I need to affirm more, that I need to become more, that I need to meditate more, fast more, pray more, tithe more, do more, try more. All of this is the illusion that is blocking our vision to the truth that right now you sit in the middle of the miracle. Right now you are already that which you desire to be. When the mind loosens its grip on past stories and future fantasies, the kingdom becomes obvious. You begin to notice the sacred in the ordinary, the divine in the mundane, the infinite woven through the infinite. The kingdom, right, was always here, spread across every inch of your life. But you could not see it until you stopped looking through the lens of limitation. When you return to the present moment, you realize you were never separated from heaven at all. You were only separated from the vision that could recognize it. Beautiful. The kingdom never hides, right? God never hides, but our perception filters it out. Perception filters it out, right? Next section. If you do not want it, why are you clinging to it? If you do not want it, why are you clinging to it? This is the real question. If the past is gone, if the event is over, if the person is no longer here, does that trigger y'all? Any of y'all that are specific person crazy? If the person is no longer here, if the chapter has ended, then why are you dragging the pages into the present? Do you understand what I mean by that? You get to choose what version of whoever to experience right now. Why are you holding on to the version of them that doesn't even want you? instead of choosing the version of them that does? Why? That's always a beautiful question, right? And I ask some of y'all, even, in the beginning of our, whether it's a one-on-one consult or whatever, just to kind of gauge your understanding, to see where we have to go. The question is always, why do you want someone who doesn't want you? The question is not meant to say that you can't have anybody. You can, of course, have whoever you want. You can choose whoever you want, right? But it's always, do you believe that there's only one version of this person? Or do you understand that you can choose whatever version, right? You don't even want the version of them that is out there right now. You don't even want that version. If they show up just the way that they were still, oh God, not them again. Why don't you give yourself permission to experience the one that you actually want? Why don't you give yourself permission to experience the version of them that you want? Why are you choosing the version of yourself who suffered instead of the version who has risen? So if you do not want it, why are you clinging to it, right? Not why did it happen? Not who caused it, not how long it lasted, not how deep it cut, right? All of those questions that the ego drags us into that are meaningless. All of that just keeps you in a loop, keeps you digging more and more and deeper and deeper and deeper when there's no purpose in any of those questions. You can choose the identity of someone who needs to heal, or you can choose the identity of God. Either way, you're God. So either way, your perception is going to be given to you as truth. Why? If you just are God, why are you choosing to be a God that does not have what they want? You being God is just a fact. It just is what it is. Now, when you accept that, you can choose to have what you want by being in the knowing that you have it, or you can choose to put on these illusory masks and say, no, I just have to figure out why this happened and why did I create this, instead of simply deciding who you are in this moment. You're standing in the middle of a miracle, in the middle of eternity, and you have what? You have the opportunity to choose whoever you want to be. Choose it. All right? So here we go. You can release the entire past right now. You can drop the whole narrative. You can unhook from the loop. You can walk into the infinite, because the only place the past exists is the place you keep rehearsing it. Okay? Let's talk about the resurrection. The resurrection is not a story of a body climbing out of a tomb for the sake of sin. All right? Fairy tale. It is the metaphysical demonstration that identity is untouched by experience. Okay, so let's think about this metaphysically. Let's think about the story of the resurrection metaphysically, right? Even in the agony of the cross, Jesus, representing your I am awareness, said what? My God, why have you forsaken me? Which shows that even the most awakened ones can momentarily slip into the illusion of separation. But the resurrection shows what happens when illusion is released. It shows that suffering never defines the self. Wounds never define the essence. Oh, that's fire. And the past, here we go. I put this in bold so y'all see it. The past cannot hold the Christ mind unless the Christ mind continues to hold the past. The past cannot hold the Christ mind unless the Christ mind continues to hold the past. What is the Christ mind? It's your divine ass. That's your divine ass. You are the Christ mind. Damn, I know my battery finna die. Fuck, I got 5%. All right, let me plug it up. Let's plug it up. We might be going for a while today. Might be going for a little while. Dang, I was trying to be to the point, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just get pulled off. I wanna talk more. You feel me? I wanna talk more. So here we go. The past cannot hold the Christ mind unless the Christ mind continues to hold the past. Point blank period. Point blank period. So what is resurrection then? Resurrection is the revelation that the true self cannot be harmed, diminished, or confined by any worldly event. It is the ultimate letting go. It is the moment consciousness stops identifying with the version that was crucified and chooses instead the unbreakable truth that it has always been whole. Right? This was a major gem. Just put right in the middle of this lecture. This is a major gem. I want to read that one more time. I'm going to bold the whole part and I'm going to underline it. Feel divine as. The past cannot hold the Christ mind unless the Christ mind continues to hold the past. Resurrection is the revelation that the true self cannot be harmed, diminished, or confined by any worldly event. It's basically saying, I don't care what you're going through. The Savior is within you. The Savior is you. Within you is too small of a statement, right? That still makes us seem like what? Like we have to reach and go somewhere and strive. No, you simply have to accept what happened isn't the truth of me. Whatever past happened, whether it was a day ago, 3 days ago, 3 years ago, 3 months ago, 3 decades ago, none of that shit defines me unless I say so. The Christ mind, the past cannot hold the Christ mind unless the Christ mind continues to hold the past. It is the ultimate letting go. It's the moment consciousness stops identifying with the version that was crucified and chooses instead the unbreakable truth that it has always been whole. This is why the resurrection is the perfect mirror for the teaching. If you do not want it, why are you clinging to it? Jesus, Yeshua, right? Your I am awareness rose not because God reversed some cosmic punishment. Why did he? Well, what was the resurrection about? Because he remembered his nature beyond the suffering. He stopped rehearsing the pain of the cross and stepped into the identity that the cross could never touch. That is the invitation for you in every moment. It's to step out of the identity of the one that is broken, of the one that's in a loop, of the one that has to reprogram something, of the one that has to do more, strive more, fast more, retain more, go celibate more, do whatever. And realize that you've always just been it. When you stop dragging the pages of your old chapters into your present, you resurrect. When you drop the story of who suffered and choose the self who knows itself as whole, you rise. Resurrection, was never, like when we talk about this in a metaphysical sense, remember, there is no death in the kingdom. So this resurrection isn't talking about death in the literal sense that we tend to think of as humans. It's not talking about this in the literal sense. We're always talking metaphysically. There is no death. So we're talking about the death of old identities, the death and rebirth, right? It's very similar to the phoenix story. What is the phoenix? It's this beautiful bird. It builds a nest, sets it on fire, dives in it, kills itself, and is reborn majestically. This is the death and rebirth that you go through every time you struggle, every time you suffer. When you go through a breakup, there's a version of you that thought you were going to be with that person forever that has to die, that you have to kill it. And now you are resurrected. That job you had to leave, there was a version of you that wanted to be there longer, or thought you would be there longer, or could have been there longer. And that version of you's got to go. It's got to go so we can grow. This is the mystic, right? The spiritual, right? The awakened soul does not fear death because they have died 1,000 times. You have died 1,000 times. You have constantly confronted yourself. You have constantly overcome things. Constantly. The story of Jesus' resurrection is the story of you. It's saying nothing that is presented to you can kill you. Don't let anything take your light. Remember who you are in this moment. Remember who you are in this divine moment with your divine ass. This is what this story is telling you. It's pushing you. I don't care what you're going through. Stop telling the story of suffering. You're no longer crucified by that situation. Resurrect. This is what it's saying. Okay? So resurrection was never, right, reserved for one man. It is the metaphysical blueprint for every consciousness that chooses truth over memory, identity over the past illusory story, and chooses, this is the most important one, chooses now over the past. It is the reminder that whenever you stop clinging to the crucified version of yourself, you walk out of your own tomb. I mean, my goodness. My goodness. If that's not beautiful, your boy don't know what is. If that shit ain't beautiful, your boy don't know what is, okay? So next part, nothing is chasing you. You are recreating it, right? So this whole discussion, if you haven't noticed, has been about accountability. Yikes. I know. Scary. Accountability. I get it. It can be scary, right? Some of you might have been allergic to accountability for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? But today we're confronting ourselves. The only thing, the past is not holding on to you. It is you holding on to it. The subconscious reprogramming you think you need to do, it's made up. It's an illusion. That's just you standing right now in this present moment, deciding that there's something in the way of you and God. But Alex, reprogramming is real. I need it. Well, if you decide that, then that's what you're going to experience, right? It doesn't matter what I say. It's what you, that's the whole point of this discussion. It doesn't matter what I sit up here and tell you. It's what you accept as the truth. I'm just pushing you towards your power. That's it. But you can choose to dilute that power. You can keep a middleman in that power if you want. Please go ahead. You can put your subconscious mind. You can say, because the situation looks like this, I must be like that. You can let that bullshit story keep you from what you want, all you want. All I'm saying is, when are you going to get to the point where you actually love yourself? When are you going to begin treating yourself like you care about yourself? When are you going to actually just no one is holding you back from the things that you desire except for you. It's us. And when we become aware of it, of course, it can be a disturbing thing in the beginning. But how liberating is it to truly go back to that simple truth? The only thing keeping me from the life that I want is my identity. It is a divine realization that I am already everything I want to be. Already everything that I want to be. So I should expect to be overwhelmed by love. I should expect to be overwhelmed by money. Overwhelmed by miracles. I should expect to experience the infinite because the infinite dwells within me. It's a calling back to your power. It's the pushing for all of us to stop misusing our memory, to recreate situations that we don't want, and to begin walking in our divinity. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the past and what we don't want, what if you actually started to choose to be overwhelmed by the amount of money and love flowing into your life? Oh my God, just more. I just don't even fucking know where this came from. I had the exact experience this morning. And I caught myself midway like, what the fuck, Alex? That's fucking fire. What more? Like, man, bro, dang, where is this coming from? I got to track these expenses. Ooh, what a beautiful problem. And this can be your reality. It already is your reality. Right? It's simply expecting, same thing. It's accepting the truth of who you are, that you are already it. But I mean, the story though, it just feels like this, but it's not. But it's not your abundance. And this is why I'm telling you these things, not in a way to push you towards them, but to remind you of the absolute fact of your existence. The absolute fact of your existence is already prosperity. There's nothing for you to try to become. You can't become prosperity. You just are it. You just have to accept that you are it. The same way that you accept that your name is what it is. It's just an acceptance of the truth of who you are. It's the beginning to see this as a fact and not a feeling. It's a fact, not a feeling. It's not that I'm trying to create it with my thoughts and words. And no, I'm not trying to create anything. I just know that I'm already it. Therefore, what is there to do except to be? You feel me? I know you do. All right, so use memory correctly. Remember your godhood. Memory was never meant to replay pain. Memory was meant to restore truth. Remember that you are unlimited. This is what your memory is supposed to push you towards, right? Remember that you are unlimited. Remember that you are eternal. Remember that you are the I am. Remember that God is the only identity you actually have. Let me bold that one. That's a bad one right there. Oh, shoot. No, don't do that. Okay. God is the only identity you actually have. Everything else is an illusion. God is the only identity that you actually have. Everything else is made up. Even I am prosperity, it's just a sliver of all that you are as God. It's just a sliver, which is absolutely beautiful, okay? Remember that nothing can add to you and nothing can take from you, right? Nothing can make you more God. Nothing can make you less God. I know, it's beautiful. Nothing can make you more God. Nothing can make you less God. When memory is used correctly, it becomes vision. Vision of what is real. Vision of the present. Vision of your divine nature. Vision of the infinite possibilities around you, waiting for you to choose one and walk into it. Okay? So here's another one. All right, here's another quote from Ishvara, some mystic, Ishvara. The past is a shadow that vanishes the moment you turn toward the light. You are not working through the past. You are working through your devotion to the past. Stop trying to fix what is not happening. Stop trying to escape what is no longer real. Stop trying to reprogram something that only exists because you keep pressing play. Choose again. Choose now. Choose truth. Choose the identity that God gave you. Choose the infinite that is your birthright. Right? We'll often just let the mind run with memory and let the mind try to create this small, confined, predictable world based on what we have experienced. But you are so much more than that. So much more than that. Okay? So I got 3 reflection questions, and then I got a letter to you. Okay. First reflection question. What versions of myself am I still carrying that no longer exist? And what identity would I step into if I stopped rehearsing those old stories today? Okay? What versions of myself am I still carrying that no longer exist? Well, a simple answer could be all of them. All of them. The only thing that exists is what I choose now. What versions of myself am I still carrying that no longer exist? You're not trapped in a loop. You're trapped in a belief that you're trapped in a loop. All right? Number 2, in what ways am I crucifying myself with memory? And what would resurrection look like if I chose to drop the past and see myself as whole right now? In what ways am I crucifying myself with memory? And what would resurrection look like if I chose to drop the past and see myself as whole right now? Everything would change. Everything would change. Okay? And number 3, if nothing from my past is holding on to me, what am I afraid will happen if I finally stop holding on to it? Because nothing from your past is holding on to you. It's just us holding on to it. Okay? So I got a letter for y'all, right? Love letter for y'all. letter to myself, but also always, hear it like it's you speaking to you. Okay? Here we go. Beloved, I am writing to you from a place you have always belonged, even when you forgot it existed. I am writing from the part of you that never suffered, the part of you that was never touched by the past, the part of you that walks in resurrection every moment you choose truth over memory. I know how long you've carried the weight of stories that no longer live anywhere except in your own devotion to them. I know how many times you picked up old chapters and tried to make sense of them. How many times you rehearsed pain as if it were purpose. How many mornings you woke up wearing identities that no longer fit. But look at you now. Look at the one reading these words. You have reached the moment where holding on costs more than letting go. You have reached the moment where remembrance weighs more than truth. And you are finally willing to choose freedom instead of familiarity. You're not obligated to continue any storyline that hurts you. You're not bound to any memory that shrinks you. You're not chained to any version of yourself who suffered. That was real only for the moment it occurred. It has no breath now. It has no power now. It has no substance now. The past cannot follow you unless you carry it. And you, my beloved, have carried enough. Got the puzzle piece. So today I release you from every story that tells you you are broken. I release you from every identity built on pain. I release you from every echo that tries to convince you the past is still alive. You are not a rerun of old events, nor a memory looping itself into form. You're simply the witnessing presence behind it all. You are the I am that rises even after crucifixion moments. You are the resurrection choosing itself again and again. I know it feels strange to put the old self down. I know it feels unfamiliar to stop clinging to what hurts you. But trust me, the infinite is waiting where the story ends. The moment you stop referring to who you were, you step into the one you have always been. The one who walked out of the tomb of memory. The one who is whole even when the mind tries to recall suffering. The one who understands deeply and quietly that nothing has ever been lost in God. So breathe and choose again. Walk into your life as the risen one, not the wounded one. Walk as the self who has outgrown every shadow and walked as the truth that no past can deny. Okay, I am with you, I am you, and I rise with you now. Right? I am that I am, no matter what. Right? No matter what. Remember, the only thing keeping you chained to the past is your belief that you are chained to the past. It's your acceptance of the story that you are chained to the past, but you are not. But you are absolutely not. Okay? You are everything that you desire to be right now. Okay? Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Cool. So, we'll do like 12 minutes of questions. And I'm going to jump off of here at 10. Get ready for the market to do what it does. We got a Trump speech today. We got FOMC. So, or meeting minutes at least. So should be a good, interesting day. Then I gotta go see my uncle too. Phoenix Rising, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Shelly. Oh, he's cool. Every day is getting better. He's perfect, he's healthy, he's healed. I appreciate y'all, thank you. Right? Cynthia, appreciate you. Oh shit. So you look like Aladdin. Cool. Any advice for living in fear? Go through it. That's all. I mean, give yourself grace through it. It's just a regular part of the human experience, but the fear creates nothing, right? The fear has nothing to do with what you want, with who you are. It's just a feeling that rises and falls, rises and fades away within consciousness. That's all. Huh? It doesn't add to you. It doesn't take away from you. The same way that even happiness does not add to you or take away from you. It's just an emotion. Right. The energy behind it, right, is all God, right? Everything is God. But our translation of it becomes the emotion. But that's, so what? It's still just God. It's just a neutral energy that runs through you. That's all. How do you maintain remembrance? Practice. There's only this now moment, right? So you maintain remembrance by simply being, in the knowing that you're already everything. And what do I tell myself every morning upon waking up? It's going to be a fun day. I tell myself I'm God. It's all working out. That's all. When I desire a new vehicle, what do you do to obtain it? Decide it's already yours. That looked like a good question. Great call. I almost missed it. The part of you that's never, the part of you that's never suffered, is that the complete love of ourselves? It's the present moment. That's all. It's the eternal part of you. It's the absolute eternal part of you that exists right now. Okay? It's right now. The eternal version of you can never suffer. It doesn't identify with suffering, because suffering is simply us clinging to untrue beliefs, untrue identities. But you're brand new in every moment. You get to choose who you are in this moment. Right? How do you deal with grief and guilt? The same way that you deal with sadness or pain or anger or anxiety or fear. You go through it as a human being, knowing that you are still perfect through it. Do you ever doubt, or do you have a habit to remind yourself of your power? Yeah, I have doubts, but I mean, they're just not the truth. That's the only remembrance, right? It's not some technique to get through them. We're constantly thinking that our doubt or fear or anxiety is keeping us from something. It has nothing to do with what you get. You just are what you desire unconditionally, no matter what. If I believed that my fear or doubt or anxiety would keep me from what I wanted, I'd be making my desires conditional, and they're not, because God is unconditional. Therefore, the fear and anxiety just is, right? They are what they are, but I am that I am. Absolutely, Donna. Moxanity, appreciate you. Any advice on being married to someone who's not awakened? Any advice on it? Man, look, I don't know, right? We all have to make these decisions on what we receive in our life, on what we on what we experience in our life, right? Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Do you believe that a different religious perspective can keep you from being with somebody? Now, maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, that's not the point. Here's the point. Okay. When you begin to look at somebody, you think they're quote unquote awakened. Could that potentially be your spiritual ego simply creeping in and making you feel like you are superior to this person? Remember, God just is. You have a belief or a perspective of God, right? So do they. Which one is true? Or whichever one you believe to be true is true. So we constantly have these kind of egoistic thoughts of I am more advanced or less advanced than this person. They meditate more. They must be closer to God. I'm closer to God because I know this information, or whatever the case may be. Is that the truth? No, nobody can be closer or further from God than anyone else. We are all the fullness of God having a human experience. So we can't allow, certain kind of egoistic judgments to creep in. But I mean, the truth, the same way that I could believe that my belief is quote unquote superior to someone else. It's the same way that all the time, I'll be doing these lives and some random ass person will jump in here and be like, you're wrong. Confess your sins and repent to Jesus. Who's right? Who's wrong? The only difference, right? We simply have two perspectives on God. The only difference is they allowed their ego to drag them in here, thinking that they were superior than me, which has nothing to do with me. That just has to do with them. That's it. I know you didn't mean it like that, but I'm making a bigger point. I'm making a much bigger point. Okay. The bigger point is that when we're judging ourselves as over or less than someone, as more awakened or less awakened than someone, when we believe that because this person has different beliefs, we can't find some common ground, then we're denying the fact, the truth, that we are all God, that everybody is simply having this human experience. That's it. Okay. That is it. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So you have to believe, exactly. You have to believe your anxieties and fears don't keep, well, I mean, you don't have to believe that. You just have to stop arguing with the truth. The truth is that they don't. The truth is that nothing keeps you from what you want because you're already it. Well, you just have to stop arguing with that truth. It's not even about believing it at that point. It's about not arguing with the truth of reality. The truth. Like, just go to the truth. Accept the truth. You are that which you desire to be. So now don't add extra steps. Like me saying I have to believe that my fears and doubts don't. That's just an extra step. Of course they don't, because I'm already the person I desire to be. If you already had $1 million, okay, if you already had that person, would your fear and doubt and anxiety matter? Fuck no. It would just be a feeling that you work through like a human being. That's it. You already are that person. So why aren't you just, if your child showed up and said, I'm just not worthy because I feel sad or anxiety, would you say, get out of my face until you feel better? You're right. You're not who you want to be until you feel happy. You're right. You're not loved until you feel better. Get out of my face. Would you tell them that? No, but we tell ourselves that all the time. You're already that what you desire to be. That's just a fact. Now, what is the most important thing for you to give anybody when they're feeling sad? The same way that a child would come up to you and you'd be like, no, it's cool. You're still perfect. You're still loved. Everything is still fine. It's okay to be sad. That is what you would tell your kid. But when it comes to you, different story, right? When it comes to us, all of a sudden it's, oh no, I've got to fight this off. I can't feel down. I can't feel anxious because my SP won't come back if I feel doubt or fear or anxious. You're making up these rules that, that don't exist. And can you be God and still be humble? Absolutely. I mean, being God is just a fact. But I think when you hear God, I am God, and you think that it's not a statement of humility, well then I would venture to say, what do you mean? What do you think that I mean when I say that? Okay, it's not to exalt me over anyone. It's saying that God is everything and everywhere. Therefore, I cannot be separate from God. It's not a statement of my superiority at all. It's a way of saying it's all God, right? So you're God in its fullness. Therefore, the way that I treat you is the way that I treat God. So how could I not be humble? Right? That means the words that I speak, my bad. The words that I speak are an expression of God. So I must be humble. Right? It's even when I drink this water, I'm reverent because it is the fullness of God. So I must be humble. Right? When I think of you, right? When you have a question, right? And I think of you, I'm speaking to God. I'm speaking to God as God. Therefore, I must be humble. So it's about living your life through this devotion. It's not about exalting, because there's no me to exalt over you. There's no you to exalt over me. Right? There's no me. There's no you. There's only God. So there's nothing to elevate or reduce. There's just God. So there's no hierarchy or rank in the spirit. And then advice on how to deal with an African mom who insists you do rituals, bathing with certain herbs so that you get the things you want. I told her, no, I don't believe in that. Now she's angry. Well, you're trying to fight against the circumstances, right? When I actually made a decision I was like, okay, look, I don't care about converting my parents to some different belief of God, and I don't want them to convert me. The only thing that I want is a beautiful relationship with them. I can still honor my truth, and my parents sometimes ask me to go to church with them. Guess what I'm doing? Hopping and skipping in church with them. Why? Because it doesn't, like, those things don't matter. At the end of the day, it's just me building some kind of union with them. That's it. That has nothing to do with me denying my beliefs or me turning my back on myself. Now, if you believe that you're turning your back on yourself, then don't do it. But my perspective of my parents is, I only get one pair. I only get one set. Right? There will come a time where I wish that I was kinder to them. There will come a time where I wished I had more moments with them. There will come a time where I wish I just was sitting in that tub doing rituals with them, and I could just ask my mom, when you were young, how did you handle this situation? Or Dad, when you were my age, how did you handle this situation? What was this like? There will come a time where you'll miss that. And so I'm not pushing you to do what you don't want to do. All I'm saying is sometimes we get so caught up in standing on quote unquote business that we kind of forget that, you're not on a mission to convert them. They believe what they believe because they believe it's right. Okay? It's not trying to bring you down. If anything, that is an expression of love. If anything. And when I see with the eyes of devotion, now I can see that. It's the same story I've told you about my dad, right? When I constantly used to think that he was like overbearing. He was always just trying to tell me what to do and shit. Nigerian dad. You know what I'm saying? Straight to the point. No beating around the bush. No coddling. No kindness. Do this or you will fail. Right? So I've always admired his intelligence. Always. Right? My father is extremely smart. Extremely smart. He's a doctor, medical doctor, physician. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's where I get the gift of gab from, is him. Okay. But by me saying, okay, yeah, he's intelligent, but not accepting his intelligence as a way to guide me, guess what? I was denying the best part of him. I wasn't allowing myself to grow in love and unity with him. Was his love not there? Of course it was there the whole time. But when I was closed off to it, I couldn't see it. And just by me opening up and being like, you know what, is this going to hurt me just listening to him? No, I actually started getting gems from it. Then I started seeing other things that I loved. What do you have to lose? Do you believe that you're abandoning yourself by doing some bathing ritual? I've done bathing rituals before. When I was deep in the manifestation, I was doing bathing rituals, man. Had little candles in the bathtub and shit. Cinnamon in the fucking bathtub. Got up, had cinnamon all in my ass crack. You know what I'm saying? I'm still God today though, right? We live and we learn. But all I'm saying is this. If you believe there will come a time where you'll miss them, why not simply do those things and just use them? How can you change your perspective to use those situations as a way to build more unity with your family? All right. So what are you doing? I'm speaking. Spiritual bath. Yeah, the cinnamon bath was a wild. It was a crazy point in my life. It was a crazy point in my life. I didn't know left, right, up, down. I was trying to figure it all out. And then would I say that being is simply announcing who you are, and every time you catch yourself seeing things, you're on that. Exactly. And then it's, instead of me trying to become something, okay, I announce who I am, but now I simply flow through whatever I was doing before. Whether that's just focusing on a workout, focusing on writing, focusing on, this live stream, focusing on whatever is in front of you, you just get back to doing that, focusing on the love. You already have it. You're already that which you desire to be. Therefore, I don't have to try to hold a vibration or hold a mood or hold a feeling or hold a thought. I simply go back to whatever I was doing and flow through that. That's being, right? It's simply existing. It's simply existing. No. But so I don't think of me being God as a way That's not humble. I think that's even more humble, right? I think it adds to my humility because in the past when I was led by my ego, I was constantly thinking that I was better than people. I was like, this motherfucker here, I know I'm better than them. I know more shit than them, right? That was the ego. But now it's everybody's God, having a different perspective of God, experiencing their own truth as God, right? And so it allows me to see with the eyes of oneness and unity. Okay, it allows me to see through the eyes of oneness and unity. So in the beginning, I think there were setbacks because it was, oh yeah, I'm God. I can do whatever. You don't exist. You're nothing. But now it's evolved to the point where it's just oneness. It's just unity. Okay, it's just oneness and unity. What was I trying to manifest? I don't even remember. We don't live in the past anymore. Where did I get this information? Pain and experience. The school of life. God showing up, the school of life. You know what I'm saying? All those things. I wouldn't even say books, honestly. Just school of life. Am I Scorpio? Possibly, perhaps. It's a lot because she depends on that and involves my people and my business so that they all pressure me to do such as bad things. Okay? If not, bad things are going to happen. I know she loves me. She just takes the power from herself. Which I don't agree with, so no. Okay. Well, you're putting a lot of pressure on. Okay, it's as if you're thinking about this as an opportunity to change her, right? Like y'all are both trying to change each other. Who's gonna be the one who steps out of that cycle first? Who's gonna be the first one to accept the other one? It should be you. I believe it should be you. You should be the first one to stop that cycle and decide. Okay, that's just how she is. Okay, whatever. Now you can choose a different version of her, but even to get to that version of her, you can't hold on to that story anymore. You have to decide that she's accepting you, and then when you decide that she's accepting you, you can't resist whatever is unfolding. You have to simply flow with it. So you see her through the eyes of whatever, knowing that it's all leading to what you desire. Right? So it just sounds like you have a big story built up right here. Where it's okay, well, this is it, and she believes it's the end all be all, and all these people are in my business, and so it's annoying me, and they're getting on my nerves, and now they're saying bad things will happen. Okay, all of that is a story. It's not that they're judging you; you're judging yourself through them. There's a lot of resentment already and resistance just in you even accepting what's in front of you in life. What's in front of you in life just is what it is. You get to give it all meaning and then allow it to all unfold to your identity. You don't have to sit in that story anymore. And I trust that you won't. But you don't have to sit in that story anymore. Man. Guys, and why I say that is why I giggled when I said that, or had a little giggle attack. It's because I've been there. I've for sure been there with family. Like, that's just how they are, and they're judging, and yada yada, and this and that, right? But it's literally just me judging myself and using them as vessels to continue judging me. That's all it is. I'm not being judged by anybody but myself. In fact, I had that conversation with my story today. With my sister today. Right? She called me at like 6. So I'm in the gym and I answered her. Typically when she calls me that early, it's to vent. So I'm like, what's up, sis? Nothing. And I just got quiet. And then she just started crying, was telling me all these things that happened. And I was like, sis, look. And she was like, people are going to look at me this way or that way because of whatever's happening in her life. But long story short, I was just like, look, sis, the only person judging you is you. Like, nobody's saying that you're not doing a good job. You're just judging yourself. Yeah, you're looking at these situations and saying, yeah, this could make me look like this. This could make me look. But the only thing that you can do is handle what you can do right now. You're right. But and sometimes it's easier said than done, right? Sometimes it's a lot easier just to say, like, yeah, it's all working out. Versus to actually sit in that truth that, yeah, I guess I am the only one judging me. But it's a skill, right? And once you make that decision right now, that just is what it is. Remember that, and then you move forward. Okay, well, why am I judging myself? Why don't I just handle whatever I'm doing to the best of my ability to then move forward? Why don't I just handle my family or parents or whatever the best that I can and then just move forward in love? Why not? Why do I want to? I don't want to judge myself, right? There's no need. I just want to be. I just want to be the divinity that I am, right? Yeah, Course in Miracles is absolutely a beautiful book. Dang, you missed this. You would have liked this discussion then. Well, you can always catch it on YouTube if you desire. But basically, this whole discussion was only Course in Miracles. So you would have liked this one. No, I'm actually ending it. This whole discussion was A Course in Miracles. Appreciate you, Addie. Appreciate you, Addie. What else y'all got? Appreciate you too. Appreciate you too, KT. KT rhymes with SP. Isn't that a coincidence? Nah, it's all good, Abby. I'll be on this topic for the next couple of days. We'll do another discussion on this one this evening. Oh. But yeah, for anybody who joined late or who wants the whole thing, right? Remember, all these discussions are on YouTube. You know, I see some of y'all asking that while we're doing the discussion, but they're all being streamed to YouTube right now. So you can always jump to YouTube and you can get the whole thing. If you jump in here in the middle, feel free to just go to YouTube and start from the beginning. Right? Because as y'all know, especially y'all that rock with me for a while, there's a lot of these discussions, they build up, right? I start with a concept and we build on it and build on it and build on it and build on it until we get to the end. So, you know, I say the same thing. So I know most of you can jump in the middle and catch where I'm at and continue to kind of flow with it. But if you can't, right? And I know that I pack a lot of information in these discussions. And all of these discussions, I pack a lot of layers of information in it. So feel free, right? You always have YouTube. You can always go there. And then the documents will be on the YouTube channel, right? So all these documents I'm reading through, you can download it. You can take notes with it. You can print it out. You can hang it up. You can do whatever. So it'll have all of the reflection questions, the letters, the note outline that I read through. So we all in this journey together. It's to help you. Those tools are to help you. And yeah, I'm doing a live later on today. And yep, it's on YouTube right now. It's on YouTube right now. I appreciate you too, Louise. Miss Dawn. Appreciate you, Liz. Oh, the money tree? Yeah, the money tree. Yeah. The money tree is it's money. It's real prosperity. It's real abundant. You feel me? It's real abundant. It's real abundant in this motherfucker right now. Can't hold you. Yeah, it's thriving. Just thriving. I really want to move out with my daughter. I accept her. I just want to be out independent. Okay, well, accept that you are out and independent. And don't fight against the circumstances. Allow it to all perfectly unfold to get you what you want, right? The more you're resisting this situation, the more you're choosing it, right? Just accept it is what it is. And you are what you are. Enjoy the movie until you get to the final scene, right? You'll have plenty of time to celebrate when you get there. Right now, celebrate the process. I love you more, Shelly. Appreciate you. B apostrophe or exclamation point NTA. What it do? It's a Celsius, It's a Celsius. It's a Celsius. Good old Celsius. My dollar. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. It's all, you know. You know all this too. You know all this too. It's just, I'm just reminding you. A girl catching that flight to Dallas, huh? I feel you. I appreciate you. And it's an energy drink. It's an energy drink. Celsius. My dad put me on these. My dad put me on these. Yeah, that's your invite. Let's turn up in Dallas, man. But yeah. Yes, Kara. They are the best. They make you shake. Damn, how much of this shit you drinking? How much are you drinking to shake, man? Neon Cellies. What's that? Oh, is that... You call it Celsius Celly? My bad. Yeah, I like coffee too. I like coffee too. Alex offers free sessions when you make the finds. Don't let it lie to your ass. If y'all, no, but I am in Dallas, so you know what I'm saying? If anybody ever wants to meet up, we ain't doing a free session though. If you ask me any questions about the SP, I'm definitely finna leave. All right, it's enough. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Peace. What's up, Brittany? Nah, yeah. This one was late, but it's still on YouTube. And I'll do another one this evening. I definitely am an SP hater. I'm definitely an SP hater. Soursop? No, it's not soursop juice. I do have a soursop in the fridge though that I'll eat later on. This is just a Celsius. What is an SE? I don't know. Appreciate y'all, RD. What to do with the ruminating thoughts about painful memories? Do they eventually cease? Sure, absolutely. But it doesn't matter if they do or not, right? It's about you using those things as an ability to remind yourself right now of who you truly are, of who you want to be, right? You don't have to identify with them. The thoughts are just thoughts. But you get to decide, or you get to determine who you are. Yeah, I can do prosperity. I've done several on prosperity, y'all. I got like 800 videos on YouTube. But I can do one specifically on prosperity. Let's go through. Let me just go through to give y'all some context. All right. What's prosperity? The frequency of fulfillment, becoming whole before receiving. That's prosperity. Ooh, these really all are about. It's all the same. Manifesting without effort, the grace that gave me lives, wanting to being.
hold up. Do y'all feel like I do a lot of topics on SPs? I don't. Do y'all feel like I do a lot of topics on SPs? Most of these are just about everything. They're just about your God. The only reality is none of this is about SPs. The love of Christ consciousness, the lover behind every face. So that one is. Okay, I don't talk about that. Okay. All right. Okay, you're right. I'm going to put an SP ban, like an SP filter in the chat. So anytime I see SP, it just gets filtered out so that comment doesn't show up. I'll do that. And from this point forward, we will never, ever bring up an SP again. How does that? How does everybody feel about that? Some of y'all just got butterflies. Some of y'all just got real uncomfortable. What you mean? Look at all of y'all. That's how you woke up. Don't do that. See? Okay, all right then. Y'all are funny. Oh man, prosperity I just passed by. Okay. All right. I'll start using examples of prosperity instead of SPs. I got you. I'll be more mindful of that. I wasn't really mindful of that in the past. I feel like I talk about prosperity a lot. I feel like that's my primary focus is prosperity. I got you though. For sure. An old dusty SP resurfaced from 20 years ago. That's just how magnetic you are. I appreciate you. He's doing real well. Uncle's doing real well. He's doing real well. It's just because yesterday he was doing. So I don't know if any of y'all know kind of what happens when you have kind of that stroke, right? But basically, you lose motor function, right? So muscles just die, right? And so you got to relearn how to walk and talk and all these things. So you got to learn how to do all these things again. So the first day he was really struggling, but it's mostly a mental thing because all the physical things will come back, right? But also, I mean, it's emotional going from someone who does everything on their own to going to someone who kind of needs help for a lot of things. Okay, it can be mentally tough. So it's not that I felt bad that he was in the situation per se, because I know he'll be fine and I choose to see him as perfect, right? It's just part of his story. But it was, I hope, mentally, right? It was just talking to him about the mental stuff. Hey, look, everything's gonna be all right. That was the primary focus. Okay, you stay positive, right? Just, and by positive, I don't mean happy. I mean stay in the knowing that everything's gonna be all right, right? Yeah. About finding peace? Yeah, I got plenty about finding peace. It's not my dog, it's my sister's dog. It's Maggie. It's Maggie. POV, I'm your vacuum. Housekeeping of someone. How both of those answers wrong? Why do I don't have her? I don't have Maggie. I don't have, and that's somebody blowing leaves outside, man. See, I see why some of y'all in here still want your SP to come back, jumping to all them fucking conclusions like that. Must be somebody vacuuming. It must be a woman in there getting ready. It's literally outside, y'all. Some of y'all jumping to conclusions, ain't you? Why don't you jump to the conclusion that you have your SP back? How about that? Wouldn't that make a little bit more sense? Every conclusion you jump to is just wrong. Every conclusion was just wrong. You try to cast the net again. Or like Jesus said, cast the net again. You ain't gonna be able to stay. You're already out of the flames. What makes you think that you're still in them? What makes you think that right now you aren't everything that you desire to be? What makes you think that illusion? Why are you buying into the illusion that you could ever be anything less than divine and whole and perfect and complete? Prosperity. Absolute abundance, absolute prosperity. I appreciate you. We're all in this together. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Sky. All right, y'all got about 3 minutes. Let's see what the market's doing. Oh, I closed it. Three minutes. Not really a busy. Okay, hey, bro, that bow was wild. That bow was wild for a second. I said, God damn, who is that? Damn, you a fine ass woman. I was like, who was that? Oh, that's me. My bad, y'all. That bow was wild. You want to start learning about trading? Where do you start? YouTube. Go to YouTube. Thanks for the hat and for the mustache. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. You can go on to YouTube. I'm not the one to ask where to start. Everybody's journey is different. You have to figure it out for you. It's more so a mind game, a mental game than a strategy game anyway. So I don't care really what kind of strategy you come up with in the market. It's about your mindset. It will definitely expose if you have a lack of prosperity mindset pretty quickly. Do I tell myself I'm the best trader? No, not really. I don't tell myself. I just know that I'm prosperity. I have no desire or care to be the best trader. I kind of used to fall into that, but I don't even know what that means. Best win rate, like what makes the most. I just want to be prosperity, right? So going to that, I do not concern myself with what happens when I trade. I only concern myself in being prosperity when I trade. Therefore, I simply execute my strategy over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, relentlessly like a psychopath, knowing that it must pay out, knowing that it will give me what I want. That's it. I am prosperity. It's just one. It has nothing. Trading has nothing to do with me. If I stop trading today, that money will still come to me somehow, some way. Because I am the prosperity. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. 10:30. Got to jump off. I got to look at this market. I need to get 30 minutes before Trump starts talking. Because, that might impact the market. Then we got FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes. Okay? Love y'all. Absolutely love y'all. You deserve everything that you want. I think this was a good discussion. I would highly recommend you to go back to YouTube and watch this one if you joined it late. I think this one built on a lot. But yeah, we'll talk again this afternoon. We'll do, of course, more questions. If you want to join later on, we can do that as well. Okay? But I trust that y'all found this valuable. And we shall talk very, very soon. All right, peace.